Hi, welcome to Smiley's. Sit back and grab, not a chalice, but just have a glass of wine maybe. Hi, Lee.
Hello, Mora. What are we discussing today? Today, as the intro might have told you, we're discussing Lady Challice, now Vidica's nay Darl of Durgistan. Spoiler scope for this episode will be up to and including till the Hounds, strictly from the Muslim with the Fallen. And Challice, I think, appears in Guardians of the Moon till the Hounds exclusively, and I have not read Guardians of the Moon in years, so I will let Mora take this the first bit of this episode away. So, Mora.
Yeah. Can I say, this is like a recurring theme of you not having read the books in a long time?
I mean, I don't,
It's okay, yeah, but I think we should also, tell anyone who's listening that we have radically different ideas about Chalice, isn't it? I think let's make it clear right away.
Yeah, this is probably the first episode where we're going to massively disagree with one another. Well, not massively, but there is a disagreement here. We don't entirely agree.
We still don't know where we stand, probably. Because most of the controversial things we've sort of fallen into the same side, isn't it? Regarding Lassine and Karsa and Lone and everything.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying that here we're going to diverge a little bit. So I'll just, shall I explain my thought process? And then we'll see where
Yes, please do.
Yeah, and then just feel free to interrupt me whenever you want, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, I think of her story from Gardens of the Moon and Told the Hounds. These are two separate parts, right? And this is a common thing you see in fantasy. The part one character, whatever we see her in Gardens of the Moon is quite standard. It just ends in a sort of unexpected way of her not falling for Crocus and walking away and all that. The more surprising part, which was surprising for me, was that her story gets picked up after 7 books, right? So we get to see her where her choices have led her. So that's very interesting. And yeah, I think I've told you, I've told you this before, but this is the way it goes. Her story can be summed up as not every princess falls in love with a stable boy, and then the part 2 of it is, but she ends up using him somehow. So who do we meet in Gardens of the Moon when Crocus climbs into the 3rd floor balcony and tries to steal this young woman's jewelry and gifts and all that? All we are told is that she is quite rich. She belongs to a noble family. She is young and pretty, and she has a lot of suitors buzzing around her and all that. And she seems to be quite spoiled, isn't it? So this is who we meet. And I don't know, there are dozens and hundreds of such women written in so many books. I'm not sure how familiar you are with these type of leading characters, but that's how she is set up. But that's all she is, right? It's just the physical description of what she is and where she lives, and it's only those things we get to see through Crocus. And most books don't go beyond this. It's she's just an empty chalice. And yeah, you wanted to tell me about the name Challice?
Yeah, I think in an I don't remember where the interview was. My gut felt it was AP, but I don't remember. Erickson basically said that he named Challice the way he did because she essentially represents something unattainable for Crocus. Because, I mean, let's be honest here, there was no way in any self-respecting non-YA fantasy book that the two of them would work out. And the book is but one. The name is but one indication of that. So Challice is basically Crocus's holy grail. I think are his words.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the thing is, you say non-YA fantasy, but so far, whatever we see about Crocus's storyline is exactly YA.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so if they did end up together, it wouldn't be too surprising, or we wouldn't be discussing this right now. But at least nobody would have found it extremely odd or anything, because we get all this a montage in his head, right, of him studying and learning the court etiquette, and then getting to stand in a formal line to be introduced to her, and I know you don't remember this, but there's a whole thing in Gardens where he tells Mamet about this, and he suggests that you have to stop your thief career and start getting yourself educated and things like that. So when those things are written, you just tend to side with him, that I thought that this is what he's going to do. He's going to turn over, become a sort of nobleman and try to pursue her and things like that. I thought that would be the conflict of him trying to attain this social status. But anyway, we are not talking about Crocus today, right? We're talking about Challice. See, this is the whole point, that we don't really get to see much of her unless it's through Crocus's view. And that keeps her at a distance. And the only clues which we have in Gardens of the Moon, which if you want me to sum up, we see that her personality, which I think we see only when she catches him while he's putting back the jewelry. And that's when we get to know. I mean, it's not extremely odd or surprising or anything. As any curious young woman would be there, she just sits, asks him about his name, and slightly haughtily she tells him that, yeah, you can keep my stuff in this particular order. And then she doesn't, she's not a narc. She doesn't snitch on him. She tells him to escape and all that. So even this, it's sort of set up that maybe they are going to end up together or something. And then in the last scene, in the garden, I know you don't remember, but I just want to ask you, do you know what she was dressed up there?
I dressed up? No, I have no idea.
No idea. Do you remember what Rake was dressed up as? No?
I don't remember very much from there. I remember the duel between Rallick and Turpin. I remember Challice flat out refusing Crocus.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I remember Race coming in. I don't remember the minutiae of what Rake was dressed as.
But that was the fun part of it. He goes to this. I mean, you think he's this big, immortal being sitting on Moonspawn and killing armies, and then he shows up and says, "Yeah, I'll come as a dragon." And Mammoth dresses up as a jacket. You should reread Gardens, man. Seriously.
I read a few scenes and I honestly didn't want to read again.
I think you should. Read from cover to cover.
Okay, I think Perrin in this book is a fucking idiot and I cannot stand him. I'm sorry.
There are lots of things which are, you can't.
I can't stand him.
You have to read this book.
I don't want to read this book again.
Right? But you're missing out a lot. That's all I'd say.
Maybe. Just like, okay, carry on.
You just, fine, okay. So.
I mean, look, Julia has read, Told the Hounds 5 times, and they still want to keep coming back for more. They've read Gardens twice, and they don't want to touch the book again. I've read it once, and I don't want to touch it again. It's a good book,
just being unduly influenced by people criticizing Gardens for...
I read a few parts, and I wanted to vomit.
Because you read Told the Hounds repeatedly for other things, not for the story, but Gardens has enough story and enough Easter eggs and things like that twice reading it is a must. I don't know what more to tell you. Fine. Yeah. Oh God, I'm getting distracted now thinking of all the things which I picked up on this reread in Gardens.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So
Rake was dressed as a dragon, Mammoth was dressed as a jackhood. Can we carry on now?
Oh God. Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about Challice and we're getting distracted again.
I mean, I think that's what we do.
I think it speaks volumes to how little Challice actually matters in Regard to the Moon.
Yeah, but this thing is actually quite good. Because what happens is, she is dressed as a Barghast war maiden.
Oh.
And yeah, he grabs her. Crocus just unceremoniously grabs her and, puts a hand on her mouth and drags her into the woods and things. And yeah, after a few steps, I think she trips him. And, whatever. He's able to overpower her and tells her, please don't scream and all that. And then they talk. And then she actually thinks that this is her boyfriend, Gorlas. Gorlas, is that how we say it? Gorlas?
Yeah.
Gorlas.
Yeah.
Anything. She says, she thinks it's him and she runs to him and that's when he grabs her. So we know that, she's not single and available like any other fantasy heroine would be. And we know that she's able to trip him and try to get away. And then when he actually says, she asks him, what do you want from me? And at the same time, Crocus is also thinking the same thing, now what? What exactly does he want from her? He doesn't know. He just knows that he thinks in his head that if he grabs her, she's going to just fall into his arms and then it's a happily ever after. But that's not what happens, right? Her first reaction when he says something like, I will be introduced to you and blah, blah. Do you know what she tells him? She just laughs at his face. She just tells him that I'm going to be marrying this guy called Gorlas from a rich family. He loves me and so, my life is set. I can't really spoil all that and marry you. Something like that. She just laughs and rejects him. Now, this is a type of personality which we don't really get to see and which was very interesting. She is already established as quite calculating, right? So, and this is what, and this is what I want you to keep in mind when we discuss her character in Told the Hounds, because this forms my opinion about her, which is sort of something we don't agree upon, right? So, once she goes away, we can assume that she's getting married to this nobleman and she has a...
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, go on. All right. So, we're back after some technical glitches, right?
Yeah.
So, we were, I think, ending up Gardens of the Moon.
Yes.
So, the thing which we see there is she walks away after rejecting Crocus to what we assume is a happily ever after, right? She's going to have a happy life as a rich, married noblewoman. And this leads us to part 2, where we see her again in Told the Hounds.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we see her again, we see that, more or less she has fulfilled whatever she wanted to do. She's married now to the same Gorlas. And, for some reason, he's no longer in house Tholius. He's in house Viticus.
Yeah, apparently.
Which, there's really no explanation. Yeah?
I don't know. He married into it. I don't know.
No, I think it was just a mistake, like Orphantel's gender being changed and all that.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, yeah. So it doesn't matter. So she's married and she's still rich and beautiful and all that. But, she's sort of lonely and bored. She doesn't have a name. She has a husband who doesn't really love her or, fulfill her sexually or even respect her. He wants to use her as a pawn in his power games with his friends. So, yeah. So we see her in this life. Okay, yeah. So Gorlas is using her, he even arranges her to meet these people without him so that, they end up having affairs and things like that. Basically, Gorlas is a sick man. I think we don't need to describe him in any further, details. He's just a quite sick man. And this is where my problem with Challice starts because, she sort of lets him do this. Yeah?
No. Carry on.
You can interrupt me. It's okay.
I'm not planning to interrupt you yet. Let's continue. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah. So my problem is that she allows him to use her like this, right? She can walk away or she can at least put a stop to this. We know that, behavior like this is a sort of a scandal. But she gives in anyway because, I don't know. Maybe it's just fun for her. Maybe she doesn't care much and I don't know. They have this sick arrangement, these two, Gorlas and Challice. And I think Cutter points it out. That the whole dynamic of your relationship is this, that he wants you to collect affair partners and then he can challenge them and kill them and then, continue the same cycle again and again. This is something which the two of you are going to do again and again, so you're safe, This is the type of logic Cutter has and I think he's right in that, this is the dynamic they have, right? So what happens is everything is fine as long as she's having affairs with his friends. But then suddenly she meets Crocus when he's back in Tajikistan. And, almost immediately they start having an affair. She has made all arrangements in this empty warehouse and things like that. And they don't really try to keep it a big secret because Crocus walks in and out of it boldly. And, there are plenty of neighbors watching him and things like that. So it was just a matter of time before Gorlas finds out, right? And that was a very bad, it was a horrid scene to read when Gorlas confronts her and tells her that, he's going to come back from the mines and find this guy and kill him, right? Yeah, that was not a nice thing to read. So what does she do once she finds out that Gorlas knows? Does she tell Cutter to, go away and escape and, save yourself and things like that? No. She's more worried about herself than him. So she goes to him and tells him, yeah, he's found out. So since you're an assassin now, why don't you go kill him? This is basically what she tells him. And yeah, that was a nice scene where he says that, that's not going to happen. He's not going to kill you, definitely. And if he kills me, that's fine because I think you like this scene a lot, isn't it? You want to tell me?
Yeah, I love that scene. Well, okay, here's the deal. So Cutter is very jaded. He's very, just like you actually, he's very cynical about Challice's decisions. I would say. He doesn't, well, okay. A lot of his journey to the Hounds is him essentially punishing himself for his perceived abandonment by Absalar, that Absalar abandoned him because he failed her somehow, which ties into the Redeemer that we talked about last time, but I'm not going to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he doesn't much care about himself, right? But also, because Cutter is a bit of a piece of shit, and I think I need to look no further about that than Scylla. I think you have some fairly...
I mean, he's quite young. In his
strong
defense.
opinions, yeah, strong opinions. It's not just him being young. I think it's just like the change in personality that comes with being what he is now, and how he's been molded.
It's something like code switching, right? When you're, especially, you have a group of friends with whom you have a certain personality, and then you have a different group of friends with whom you have a slightly different dynamic and personality. So, and the two don't mesh sometimes.
Yeah.
Because he left Darujistan as what? As a teen, 17, 18-year-old boy?
Yeah.
Who was a thief and who was accompanying another teen and things like that. And now he comes back with what? Scylla. Right. So, obviously he was hesitant and, I even Scylla doesn't blame him. So, I don't really blame him, but, he was a bit of a dick there.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, what I'm getting at is he is very jaded, very cynical about what Challice is doing, and on one hand, that's good. On the other hand, it's not very useful to any of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially he just says, yeah, he's not going to kill you because you guys can continue banging one another, and you can actually end up
Not
in a
one
dynamic.
another. Anyone other than each other.
You guys can. Okay, let me rephrase. You two can reach an agreement where you, as you said, collect suitors, and then Gorlas challenges them to a duel and kills them because he, as we said, he's sick. And Cutter is so, I don't know, I want to say he's abject and like dour, but I guess that's not entirely fair. But he just doesn't care anymore. That he's just like, yeah, you know, it's his right to kill me. I mean, I shagged his wife, which he did. He did. But it's also very, you know, I don't know. I feel a lot more empathy about Challice than I do for Cutter in these scenes.
Like, what do you expect him to do in? Like, no, I'm wondering, like, what kind of a reaction do you think he should have had in this type of scene? When if he was not jaded, how do you think he would have reacted?
I don't know.
Yeah, because if he wasn't jaded, he probably wouldn't have started this whole thing at all, right? He wanted to get caught. He probably had a death wish. He probably wanted to either kill or get killed or something. Who knows? Because he's in that state, right? He thinks that Apsala left her because he's a sordid man who doesn't deserve her. And so he's already under a lot of guilt. And so he probably started this affair, you know, like a death wish that either he gets killed or gets to kill someone or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? That's what But why are we still discussing Crocus?
Well, okay, because, I don't know.
So once Gorlas finds out and she tells Cutter to, you know, please use your assassin skills and go kill him and things like that, he even offers her an out, you know. The thing we should do now is let's run. Yeah? How noble of him.
Yes.
How pragmatic of him. How smart of him. He wants to live. He wants her to live. He knows she's not going to accept, but at least, you know, he's doing the right thing by offering it to her. Do you think he wants to keep running? He's just got home. Yeah, this has become a defense of Cutter. Sorry.
No, I mean, I don't want to say I don't like him. I understand him, but Cutter is just not healthy. It's not, like, he's coping in the worst possible way that he could be coping.
Yeah, I mean...
That, you know, that leaks over to Challice. That Challice is doing the exact same thing, where she's coping in the worst possible way that she could, and so none of them gets better. One does.
I don't know why you feel bad for her and I don't, and I feel bad for Cutter and you don't, you know?
It's not that I don't feel bad for Cutter, it's that he's a dipshit, actively. You know?
Yeah, I don't think that. I think this thing, I think Challice is the one who's being really silly and foolish here. So, what does she do when he gives her the out? That let's run away and, you know, let's go. She just tells him, I don't want to leave. I like this life. What kind of a stupid idiot would say something like that? Just imagine.
Yeah, so, I am very much imagining. Carry on.
Are you like writing down points to, you know, start shooting them?
I have written down my points already, if you know this. You can see the file.
So what does she do? Yeah, so she tells this type of, you know, useless things that she's not going to run away with him and all that. And
useless things?
It is quite useless. I mean, can you be more obvious saying that I just used you and now he's found out, so go kill him? What kind of an idiot does she have to be to think, you know, this is what is going to happen, that Crocus, just because even though he's an assassin now, he's just going to follow whatever she wants. So if she just has to snap her fingers and say, why don't you go kill him? And he's going to do it. This is what she's expecting, right? I mean, how much of an idiot does she have to be to expect this, right? Are we agreed on this or not?
No, I don't think she thinks that, but please go on.
Yeah, so this is what she thinks. And then Cutter leaves. He finds a different reason to go kill Gorlas. Do I repeat that same point about Murillo? Because...
I think Murillo ties in more the Stony story than Cutter's. It's not like she was just killed to make Cutter have a reason to kill Gorlas, but still, not cool. Not very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's what I feel too. That Murillo was just, you know, a causative factor for Cutter to go find Gorlas and kill him, which was unrelated to Challice. I'm just saying that, you know, in some way, in some reason, Murillo should have been saved. That's all. Like, why didn't somebody get him nice shoes? Like,
yeah, I guess. Nice shoes. Right.
Yeah, sure. Isn't that like the big thing why he fails the duel? Because he has blisters or something?
I really need to reread this book. Anyway, please do carry on. We're getting off track again.
My God. Yeah, so once she finds out, I mean, how does she find out that Gorlas is killed? The other friend, the guy whose name we don't really remember.
It's Sheridan Lim.
Thank you. So Lim comes to her and rapes her. He tells her that your husband is dead and now, like, I control everything. Like, I know all about you and I know that, the guy you were having an affair with, he's the one who killed your husband and things like that. So once he rapes her, she finds out that, she sort of falls into this thought that this is going to be her life from now on. That she's a widow and she's going to be taken advantage of by people like this Lim, and she cannot escape from this. And so the only thing she can think of is commit suicide. My problem with this here is noble widows of noble men have sat on the council before. We have seen Lady Simtel in Gardens of the Moon. She was quite a powerful lady, right? She lived life the way she wanted to. She was rich. She was happy. Probably. I can't say about that. But regardless, she was sort of independent, right? Why couldn't Challice choose that type of a life for herself? Why did she have to take suicide as the only option? I mean, ideally, I should feel bad for this, but I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I wish I had a real life example for this, but I can't remember. I don't know. I guess Kurt Cobain could be an example.
No, you don't have to bring in like real people.
Anyway, the point is, I think the argument
Yeah.
of why did she have to commit suicide is a bit flawed at the base.
Yeah, probably.
So to answer your question, because she didn't see a way out. So there are a few readings, I think, of that scene with Sheridan. One of them is Sheridan comes along. He says, "Your husband's dead." She makes the connection. Oh, Crocus killed him with 2 knives, because she mentions that specifically. And now all the dominoes are going to fall into place because Crocus already, jaded as fuck and he doesn't care anymore. He's probably just going to say, I fucked his wife and then came to kill him because he killed my friend. And now his wife got me into this. And then Challice is going to be involved. And she doesn't care so much about herself as much as she cares about Astrasion, which I think is quite noble, in its own right, because she thinks, after Sheridan leaves, that her father is going to be extremely resilient in defending her honor, her pride, or whatever, and he's going to shoot back against anyone. Yes? What?
Can you tell me the page number, please?
1068 or something?
Thanks. Yeah.
So, that's the one surface reading, that she's going to be implicated with the murder of Godlas, and her entire world's going to come down because she's going to be chased down, hunted, and dogged by a whole bunch of people that invade her privacy and whatnot. That's one thing. The other thing is Gorlas is dead, and so she can no longer go through this whole, the motions that she'd be going through. Of she finds a new affair, Gorlas kills them, rinse, repeat. That I think is a surface level reading. Underneath that is, you can see even before Sheridan comes in, if you read her inner monologue, she thinks about how everything in life is basically hidden by thin veneers, and because she's wearing a diaphanous gown that doesn't hide anything. Before she goes to the meet, because let's be fair, when Sheridan comes in, she genuinely thinks it's gonna be sex. She thinks she's coming along because she wants sex.
Yeah.
He doesn't, but she doesn't know that. The point is,
I mean, he does, but in a different way.
Okay, we'll get to that too. The point is, she has basically become disillusioned with Crocus, with Gorlas, obviously, and with herself, and that causes her a lot of mental stress. Now, you may not be convinced about this, because another, I think, pretty cynical reading into this is that Challice doesn't want to leave because she wants to be rich. Because she likes the money. Which could be the case. I think it's part of the case. I don't think it's the main thing. I think one comment I read about this is like, she couldn't make the sacrifices necessary. And like, yeah, she couldn't make the sacrifice. Yeah, okay, yeah. And you said a lot that she accepts this, that she doesn't feel like she wants to find another option. My question, and he brought up the council and that fact she was rich. Well, my take on it is that she doesn't care about the riches. She finds her old jewelry, she has all the riches before her, and then she tells her to sell it off because she doesn't care.
No.
Yeah, no?
I'm sorry. She cares about the riches. There is just no other way you can interpret this. She sells the old jewelry only.
Okay, fine.
The one she had before
That's
marriage.
the only way you can interpret this. The only way.
No, because she tells...
The only way, Mora. Okay.
See, the thing is, even when Gorlas is going through the family accounts or something like that, even then he has this small line that this Challice uses so much of his money or something like that. So it's not like, under the surface, it's there that she is quite rich and spoiled, and she does want the material comforts.
And now she's rich beyond all belief. She could very well be the head of House Viticus. Why does she kill herself? If all she wants is money, why bother?
Because she thinks she can't be happy. She can't be comfortable with this. Because Gorlas, she had a dynamic with him. She had this arrangement.
No.
That's what I feel. Because once he's not there... Yeah, sorry. Please tell me.
She had... I refuse... I actually refuse to believe that anyone can genuinely believe that what she had with Gorlas made her feel happy in any conceivable way.
She was not happy, but she was safe. She was secure.
Because now she isn't?
She isn't, yeah, because this Lim, whoever this guy is, he's just walking into her and trying to take control of everything, right? She didn't want to let him use her the way Gorlas was using her. Yeah. I think we're more or less saying the same thing. And I'm saying it with a little bit of carelessness because...
I think you're taking a really bad negative light. My point is, I don't think she cares about the money to the degree people are saying. Like, oh, she didn't want to... Well, for one, I think Crocus realizes this. And Challice realizes this a bit later, that they never loved each other. That none of this was actually real. And they know this... Well, Crocus knows this from Guns of the Moon, right? If you read the dialogue, he knows that. He never loved her.
Yeah.
Challice has to love him. Because, as we mentioned earlier, Challice views in Crocus a way out. Challice thinks that Crocus is her ticket out. But out to where? That is one thing I think...
that's where...
Yeah, go on.
That's where her dim-wittedness comes to the front. She doesn't know. She doesn't care. She doesn't think beyond what she's surrounded by.
I feel we don't quite understand the extent that is Challice's emotional state and how trapped she feels. And I think that makes for a very jaded look on her character.
Yeah, I know that. I can see that.
I'm speaking very slowly, by the way. I probably shouldn't. My point is, okay, let's assume for a moment that Challice did not kill herself, right? She takes Gorlas's place on the council. She's rich. She's been blackmailed, but Austrasian, or her father, can protect her on the council and off the council, and Gorlas gets buried and forgotten, and time moves on. Is that good?
Good in the sense...
Would Challice want that?
She doesn't know what she wants. Isn't that the whole point here? She thinks, I don't know how to put this. It's going to sound really callous, but she thinks she can just coast through life. And I don't know. I can't say more mean things about her, but I'm sorry. We're going to... I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, my point is, there's no way Challice would be happy sitting on the council. It will not fulfill her. And she's finally, at least for a moment, in control of her own life. Sitting on the council, marrying someone else, even if she does think she loved them, it's not going to make her happy.
I think that we can agree. She's not going to be happy either way because that's sort of how she has been set up, right? She doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't know how to be happy or... that's what I mean, that she's just coasting through life.
I don't understand why you don't like her then. She don't feel... Okay. Why can we not feel empathy for this character?
Because, to some extent I feel that she should be able to come out of this.
How?
She is not as much of a victim as we think. That's what I feel. I don't know, it's probably, colored by the way my worldview, right, that a woman in her position should be able to come out of this.
Right. So,
I don't know, it's all... So, yeah, I think that's the main reason. That's the disconnect I'm feeling here. Because
a quote for you. It's from Gardens of the Moon, and it goes, "I saw a man die tonight," Challice said quietly. "I never want to again. If that's what real means, then I don't want it. It's all yours, Crocus. Goodbye." She turned and walked away.
Yeah.
So, Challice, actual Challice Darl, doesn't want to see people die, doesn't want to kill people, doesn't want to have affairs.
Yeah.
She just wants someone to love. And she thinks in that moment that Gorlas loves her.
Look.
And now you're going to say that she's cold and calculating and doesn't actually care and lives a bridge.
Listen.
Yes, go on.
I'm going to say she doesn't want what is real because she wants to be in her safe bubble of being behind these huge compound walls with guards and a balcony overlooking a garden. And that is what she means. She wants to be sheltered throughout her life. She doesn't want actual reality. Because that's the way her life is set up. She doesn't need to meet any reality anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
She doesn't...
Where do you see this going?
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I mean...
No, because this is the way I'm estimating her
character. She's such a terrible, spoiled person for not wanting to see people die on the streets because,
I'm just saying that
The thing is,
if a person is...
I think the context matters, and I think the context matters here because Crocus says real in this sentence as a boast. You've never seen what's real. You don't even know what's real. You've never seen a man die. And she says, no, I have seen a man die, and I don't want to see that again. I don't want what's real to you because you're
Do you know who is the man she sees dying? It's a duel when Raleigh kills that turban.
Yes.
So that's the only thing she has seen so far.
And why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. It is out of her life. It's out of her lifestyle. She doesn't need to put herself through things like, seeing people die in front of her. She doesn't need to.
Okay, here's the thing.
I'm not blaming her for that, but this is how she is.
We're not going to get anywhere with this. Can I just put... I let you put forth your points. Can I put forth my points and we can call it a day?
Please do. I'm ready to sit back and listen.
So my take on it is that Challice rationalizes a lot of things. This, in Guardians of the Moon, when she rejects Crocus, is Challice that we see her is actual Challice. Challice, no surname, no noble family, no nothing. That's Challice the person. Challice Darl is the one that loves Gorlas. Challice Darl wants to see... Well, because she's the youngest member of the family in an arranged marriage. And she is literally the trophy of everyone because every suitor in Dorjistan sees her as a trophy and they literally line up to court her. And she is given to Gorlas who is like the dual winner of whatever the fuck it was, I don't know. And she thinks...
She was not given to him or anything.
I don't remember. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, she has no choice in this matter. She will be married to someone, whether she knows him or not, because they have a family name, and they have money, and they have estates, and they have whatever. Because the Darl family needs to move on, and so she will be married in a patrilineal marriage, as in she has to forsake her own name for the name she marries into.
Yeah.
And so she becomes de facto part of that family, with someone who you could literally... You said already that they could be interchangeable. She could have married into the Aura family, she could have married into the Lim family, she could have married into the Tholium family, whatever it was. She could have married into like the Nom family. She could have married into whomever. It doesn't matter. That's the point. It does not matter. Challice would still find a way to rationalize to herself that she loves those people. Because she has to. Because why else would I be marrying them? I mean, she's young. She's what, 16, 17, 19 tops? She's young. And then we skip forward a few years. And the gloves have come off. The illusion of love has faded. She's in an abusive marriage. She's in an unhappy marriage. She's and she doesn't have a means to get out of this. She doesn't have any way to get out. And so she rationalizes again. She believes, she forces herself to believe, she rationalizes the fact that, I love Gorlas, but that's okay. I also love the fact that I get to go out with people, and Gorlas permits me that because, we have reached this arrangement. And so we must be happy together because I'm happy when I bang other people and he's happy when he kills them. Hooray! And so the difference between Challice and Gorlas is Gorlas is on top, so to speak. That sounds really... I don't mean in the innuendo way. I mean...
We are going to put a lot of explicit warnings for this episode.
He's, basically, he's the driving force behind everything.
He's in control.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's also... Okay, that...
Oh god, stop it.
He's the driving force behind the relationship. He has all the cards to his chest. He doesn't need to delude himself or rationalize anything because it doesn't matter if he doesn't love Challice. Challice took his name. The point... So, he can just, basically prostitute her out to his friends and then use her to blackmail them. And Challice doesn't get a say in this at all. And so she rationalizes it that, it's fine because I get to have sex. Sex is cool. I like sex. And then Crocus enters into her life. And Crocus is a wild card for many reasons. One, she knew him once, and she never got to talk to him much, and she never actually realized, not the guy she wanted what he was. And because of that, because of the limited exposure she had to him, she can create a false image of Crocus, of what was Crocus back in the day, in her mind, and then extrapolate that image into Crocus now. Now, that image comes crashing down often, but I think we didn't mention this, but Challice refers to Crocus in his old name a lot.
Yeah, she keeps calling him Crocus and keeps forgetting that he's called Cutter till the scene where she wants him to kill Gorlas.
Yes.
And that's when she tells, "Oh, Cutter, I keep forgetting your old name. I keep using your old name. I'm sorry, you're Cutter. So, go cut down Gorlas or something."
Yes.
Yeah.
So
she's cold and calculating. Yes, continue.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Sorry.
What I don't agree with is that she has the power to change this, and B, she's actually happy with this arrangement. She doesn't let Gorlas do anything. She doesn't have the power to change anything, because who the fuck is she gonna tell it to? Like, he's a member of the council. He has a powerful family. She has her estate. Estrasion's a widower. Her mother's dead. I don't even know if she has a family beyond Estrasion. It doesn't matter. Estrasion alone cannot change the fact that, like, all in the council had a hand on Challice's downfall, is what I mean. So, no, I don't think Challice is allowing Gorlas to do anything. I think she doesn't have a choice or say in the matter to begin with. With Crocus, it's a bit more indefensible because, well, she does use him. Yeah, she does. I can't get around that fact. Yeah. But I think, as I said earlier, rationalization and false memory comes into this. I think it has a lot of different names. Like, I don't know. I think I remember it as recollection bias. Apparently, that's not actually a thing. The point is, the more colloquial term for that would be nostalgia, I guess. She views the past in a very favorable manner. It creates... And that is actually part of her arc. The fact that she views her past in a very, different manner than was actually reality. And because of this, she keeps referring to Cutter as Crocus, except when she doesn't need to, because, okay, now, when it's become actually useful for Cutter to be Cutter, suddenly the illusion shatters. Like, oh, I've not actually been going out with Cutter, with Crocus this entire time. It's a totally different guy. It's an assassin. Oh, well, that's, well, it looks like I can use him to kill my wife, to kill my husband. Which, by the way, is not necessarily that she's cold and calculating. It's another rationalization. All this time, in her mind, she was banning Crocus. And then in comes the realization, oh yeah, he's not actually Crocus, right? No, he's this cold-blooded assassin guy that kills people. Yeah, maybe I could use him to justify why I've been having sex with him this whole time. It's not just because it's not the same guy, so I need another reason to have sex with him. And that reason is, okay, now I can use him to kill my husband. Which leads to a whole host of rationalizations that, yeah, if I kill my husband, I'll be free. I'll be happy. So when Crocus offers her a way out, she says no. I like it here. Rationalization number 1. Let me count. Hang on.
No.
I don't want to leave here. I like it here. 1. I like the way I live, Crocus. 2. It was just a day or two ago, Challice, that you were lying in my arms talking about escape. Just dreams. That wasn't real. 3. I mean, the dream wasn't real. Wasn't realistic. Just a stupid dream. You can't take notice of any of what I say after we've been together. I just come out with any old thing. Crocus, we're in trouble. We have to do something. We have to do it now. And that's when she confronts him with, you need to kill my husband. So... Yeah. Which brings me to a few other points I want to touch upon. Hang on.
You want me to disagree with you right away, or shall I wait?
Okay, fine. Go on.
I think you're just, giving her a lot of credit that she's rationalizing even these things, that she likes it here, and the things she told him that she wants to be with him and she loves him and things like that. And I don't think these are rationalizing, to herself. I think it's probably she knows what she's doing. I firmly believe that she's manipulating him.
No, the two are not mutually exclusive. I don't think it's the case, but I don't think it's mutually exclusive.
Maybe, but it makes more sense to me that she's just using him as much as possible in as many ways as possible. And once he refuses, I don't know. It doesn't seem right that she's so self-deluded.
Your lack of empathy is really showing. I don't know why the fact that she's manipulating him doesn't mean that she can't be deluding herself into believing these things.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But... I disagree.
No, but I still don't feel, she could have done better. That's all I feel. I feel sad for her.
Okay, alright. That's the problem. Yeah, of course she could have done better. We're not discussing could she have done better. That is yes, obviously, but we want to see why she ended up what she did.
I mean, I'm more disappointed in her than anything, I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, go on. I think you're saying.
I mean, we've established that Challice does not love Crocus, right? We know this. That's been established for a while. So in comes a concept called, I think, emotional dissonance. Which, okay, you're gonna disagree with this. I know you're disagreeing in your mind, but hear me out.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm not that close-minded. Please tell me.
Essentially, she has to create all these rationalizations that I mentioned, where she loves Gorlas because of course she must. Why else would you marry him? Well, she loves Gorlas because she lets her have sex with his friends, and now we're both happy. We're a happy family, But then Gorlas threatens her, and because he says, "Okay, now I control your sexual exploits," like that, and then suddenly that illusion shatters, and now she has one form of dissonance of, "Oh, he doesn't actually let me have sex with his friends. Then why do I love him? Oh, I don't. Trouble. Your brain doesn't like that. Not yours, Challice's, but your brain doesn't like that either. From a psychology point of view. Your brain does everything it can in its power to avoid dissonance. Hence the rationalizations. So the next one is, oh yeah, Crocus isn't actually Crocus, it's Cutter. Well, how do I rationalize that? Well, I have him kill my husband. Okay, neat. Will that help? I mean, probably. I mean, he's using me. He's abusive. He says he will, and then Cutter tells me outright he's not gonna kill me because, he's not gonna kill me because he likes this dynamic that we have, and I don't. So I'm not on for this life. But then again, maybe it is better. Maybe I should stick through with that. Maybe I should keep up. I do like it here. I don't want to live. I don't want to leave. But I also love Crocus, but not Cutter. I don't love Cutter. Cutter's an assassin. I'll use Cutter, but I don't love him. More dissonance. So I'm gonna skip forward a bit to Sheridan coming along after Corliss dies, where she has had time to process all these things and come to the realization that actually, I'm not happy with this arrangement. I don't want to kill Corliss. I think she realizes at some point. It's before Cutter rides out, I think, and then rides back to tell her that she's free or something like that.
They don't meet exactly, isn't it?
They don't meet, no, but Cutter is riding back to find Challice and thinks it's going to be his last day in Durgistan, and Durgistan won't miss him. And he rides back to tell her she's free. And as he rides back, she falls off the state tower. The point is, my point is basically, she comes to the realization that what she's asking Crocus to do is not what she actually wants. It's not going to help her. She doesn't actually want Corliss to die, because she has no way out of this. Because, okay, I killed Corliss, and that's for one, that's trouble. For two, where do I go next? I'm already trapped here, and breaking that is not what that's going to fix. And in a very abject way, she accepts defeat. And and I guess if you want to be disappointed in her for this, I guess I get it. I think it's tragic more than disappointing. But if you want to be disappointed, go ahead. In that she essentially accepts that she will be Corliss's boy, I guess, for the rest of her life. Which, of course, we know she won't be, because he just died. But she doesn't know that. And we have 3 different scenes where Cutter just killed Corliss and is now riding back to Challice. First thing he does in Jerusalem is just go back to Challice, tell her, I killed your husband, you're free, goodbye, and fuck off. I'm not sure, I don't remember if in his monologue he says he will take her with her, he will take her with him, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The other thing we have is Challice meeting with Sheridan in this diaphanous gown and pondering on how everything is built on thin veneers and how all of this has basically been a lie and she's been living a lie her entire life. And the cracks are beginning to show, but she has accepted defeat and it doesn't matter anymore, And she has accepted basically her only way to live from here on forward without feeling trapped is maybe, some way, somehow, maybe. I don't want to say she goes to the old I can change him. That's not really the way she acts upon it. Basically, she accepts that, I'm going to be his, and that's fine, because I see no other way out of this that doesn't involve me still being trapped. And so Sheridan comes along and tells her, you know what, your husband's dead, and I know all about you, and I'm now going to manipulate you, and then she remarks on how, the aforementioned how Astrasion would defend her honor and pride and whatnot, and would not let her fall victim to innuendo, even though she's certainly guilty and she knows it. And that's a surface level reading of why she kills herself. The bottom line is that I think now we have to get to the symbolism of the snow globe. Do you want to talk about the snow globe at all?
Yeah, the snow globe shows up only in Told the Hounds, right? We don't see it in Gardens of the Moon.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a snow globe with a moon inside it and some, snowflakes or something inside. And she keeps looking at it whenever she's thinking about her childhood and her, lost innocence and things like that. And it stands as a nice symbol for the way her life is, right? Like the moon. It's perfect and fine and, trapped inside the safe bubble of a globe. And there's really no escape. As long as it stays in, it stays perfect. And that's how her life is. And the minute this guy, Lim, walks in and tries to take control of her life, that's when she realizes that this is not going to work out and it's time to shatter this bubble. And that's what she does. Is there something more?
Oh, I was hoping you mentioned the quote that she kills herself with.
Oh, I thought I'll let you do that.
Oh, okay. How kind of you. So, That's the...
I'm not without empathy always.
Okay. So we already discussed the self letter reading of, she's guilty, and so she could potentially break down her family by, staying in the public eye, joining the council because, she killed her husband, because the deeper, and my personal interpretation of the whole thing, is that she finally comes to terms with the fact that everything comes crashing down, and the incoming emotional dissonance is too much for her to bear. She doesn't love Kirk. She never did, but all the veneers that she created, the thin veils that she put above, her true feelings. Oh yeah, I do love him. How could I otherwise? I am having sex with him after all.
That's the sort of... Yeah, sorry.
You don't like that reasoning? You don't like that reasoning at all?
Yeah, I don't at all, no. Because...
Yes?
She's been having sex with, people other than Crocus, and the question of loving them has never come up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think that she has any such delusions about Crocus. And both of them don't have this. It's, they're quite grown up enough to know that this is just an affair.
It's not about being grown up. Why do you keep bringing age into this?
Okay.
Self-delusion can come at any age. Depression can come at any age.
I'm saying that she is not that deluded. That's all I'm saying.
Why?
I'm saying...
Why would she not?
I don't know, that's the way her character has been shown all this time.
Really? You see her character as being this manipulative?
I do, yeah.
Right.
See, she chooses to stay on with Gorlas. I think that's where the difference stems. You think that she has absolutely zero choice. I think she has a choice which is difficult and uncomfortable, and she's not making it. I think that's where our divergences started, about feeling the degree of empathy we feel for this character. You keep saying it's an arranged marriage. It's not a forced marriage. It's an arranged political marriage.
Yes.
And even in Gardens of the Moon, she thinks that she's going to marry him because Gorlas loves her. So she's not walking into a forced...
rationalization?
Okay, I won't bring age into this, but at that point of time, she thinks that this is the way it is, that she's getting married to him because he loves her. Right? I will agree that. But not now. After all these years of marriage... I don't think she's deluded enough to know that she's married to him because she loves him and they love each other. And
yes.
I have no such...
I'm not saying that.
I don't agree with that kind of reasoning. Sorry?
I'm not saying that she's staying with him because she loves him.
She's rationalizing to herself that she's staying with him because she loves him. I don't agree with that.
She did before, not anymore. I think that broke apart.
Yeah, I mean, after the whole thing
broke
shattered...
apart. Okay, let me phrase this properly. I think rationalization broke apart something between Gardens and the Hounds, and we're at the point where she's trying to find other reasons to stay with Gorlas. Is it his money? Is it the fact that he lets him fuck her friends? No, his friends. God damn, I can't do the pronouns today. What is it? Is it that he, lets her experience fantasies with other friends, with other people? Is it the arrangement thing? Is it the money? Maybe. You seem to think it's the money. I don't, because I'm not that, I don't know. I don't have that kind of view of cynicism.
Because it's sort of... No, it's not cynicism. That's the way her character is. She's shown repeatedly to be that money-minded. She keeps, when she laughs at Crocus's face in the garden, she tells him quite openly that your family doesn't have money, your family doesn't have power, there's no name, and things like that. She knows her position, right? She knows what the value of Gorlas and the value of staying married to him, and she wants that. She wants that comfort. Yeah.
And why? Okay, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. I really don't.
No, but yeah, I think what do you expect? No, seriously.
I have nothing more to say. I've said everything I wanted to say. Just say but that's her failing. I don't think it's her failing. I think she's not. She doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, I think this is where we have to stop. Trying to convince each other, because this is where we stand.
I think because of the way her emotional state works right now, and because of how everything works, she views herself as trapped. She identifies herself as the moon. As you said, I don't think it's the globe that's safe and perfect. I think it's a prison to her. I think her life is a prison.
Yeah.
I don't think she's viewing it as perfect, and I don't think she can actually escape from it, even if she wants to.
I think she can. That's where we differ. I think she can walk out. I mean, even if it was a patriarchal society or all these things, it's not like women are so subdued and they don't have a place in society or anything. Her father is still a powerful man. Cutter gives her an out. She has enough opportunities to
Cutter gives her an out into what? Into another loveless life where she's alone?
See,
Cutter is not giving... We're discussing this. Cutter is not giving her an out of the goodness of his heart or because she actually cares. Cutter is giving her an out because he wants to save her because, I don't know, nobility, I guess, chivalry. Bollocks! Where's
because
Challice
of
going
his
to go?
death wish. He wants to just run away, that's all. And see, I don't think either Crocus or Chalice will end up together even if they run away.
Of
The
course
point
not.
is to get away from the Rujistan and start over. Why not? But the thing is, yeah, that is not the way she is, right? She's just used to this type of a life. She's used to this narrow view of how her life should be, and she's, I don't know, she doesn't even think about stepping out of that. I really don't think we're going to agree, Lee.
I
Right?
think the point we disagree is that you think that is her failing, and I think it's not.
Yeah, probably.
It's like, okay, you've been brought up for 20-something years with arranged marriages, with money, being spoiled, etc. He's like, oh yeah, but why don't you actually step out of that? Well, because for one, it's hard. For two, she literally can't because her brain is wiring itself against that. Because
it is hard, but that is where I would respect somebody like who steps out of it, right? Everybody makes hard choices, and I don't know. I'm victim blaming here. I don't want
yes.
to, but
honestly, yes.
Yeah, it's hard to view her as a victim from my side. I'm sorry. Did you just, oh God, this is like, the opposite of everything I stand for. All these things of not feeling compassion for a female character and victim blaming and things like that it is so against what I feel. But I don't know. For some reason, Challice brings out this response in me. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What more do I say?
Yeah. Are you like
I've put forth my arguments.
Yes, and I've
about
heard you.
Why it's the same thing with Lauren, because you cannot reasonably attribute Lauren's failings to her because she's been hardwired to think this way. And you might say, oh, she should just step out of it. Well, fucking hell, she can't.
She was in a cult. I don't blame Lauren for anything. See, the thing is, this type of a society, right? This arranged marriage society is very close to my real life, right? So I view it in a slightly different way. I mean, it's fantasy, I know, but still, the point of an arranged marriage type of society, to me, it feels like there are a lot more choices than the ones Challice ends up making.
I feel like it objectifies her, and I think you disagree there. It totally does. And when she's objectified and she rationalizes that, yeah, this is how it should be, how is she going to step out of that?
Because we see people like Simtel and others who already have done that.
And what does Simtel do?
Simtel may be a little, too high-handed, but it doesn't matter.
Maybe she kills herself like Challice did. Who knew?
There have to be some middle ground women,
Was Challice not... I'm sorry. Was Simtel not abusive? Was Simtel not manipulative?
She was. I'm just saying that there could be other women who are not as bad as Simtel.
Was Simtel not a prostitute that stole Cole's estate?
Yeah, she was.
And why
so I'm
are
just
we
saying that women have
her?
positions of power. That's all I'm trying to say here.
And what did Simtel do when her husband died?
Husband died? No. When Murillo... he threatens her with something and, gives her a dagger and goes away.
Because Turban just fucking died outside.
It's not Turban. Turban's death. Yes. Turban is not her husband. Yeah. So
whatever the point. Anyway.
Yeah, we are just, going in circles. Can we just agree to disagree?
I think Simtel is just not a good example of this.
Yeah, I agree. I withdraw that example.
Anyway, to conclude. Challice... Eventually, I brought up we got a bit distracted.
Please tell me the quote.
I brought up the snuggle loop. And as you said, it's a symbol of her childhood. And again, I think that her childhood is not what she thinks it is. And she has deluded herself into believing that she has an innocence. She even says it in the book, She reminisces about her innocence. And we talked about earlier that the Guardians of the Moon Challenge is not fucking innocent at all. She is cognizant. She understands what she does. She's a touch abusive herself even then. And yeah, but the tragedy of the character is that she couldn't do otherwise in the situation she was put in. I think saying, oh, she should have done, well, yeah, she should have done something differently, but she couldn't, and that's the point.
Why are we repeating the same points, Lee? Go on. Because I'm just going to repeat the same things which I told you before.
Okay, what I'm getting at is, I think Challice is a tragic character because of
Agreed.
The circumstances that she was put in.
Agreed on that too.
And she deserves our empathy and sympathy and compassion, Mora.
To some extent.
Even if she had... Not to some... Okay, fine, yeah. So much for abundance and compassion, I guess.
See...
We humans don't understand compassion.
I knew you would.
We attribute to it a value.
Right. So it's just a degree. I'm not Utkovian, so this is all I can, dredge up for this tragic character. Please, will you tell us the quote?
Yes, fine, I'll tell you the quote. So, she views in the globe the snowflake that you mentioned being dust, and she says something along like the dust dreams and something like that, but the dust does not yet command the wind, and she climbs up the wall. And
wait,
essentially,
are you going to
yes,
tell the correct quote, or you're just going to paraphrase
there's
it?
two quotes. There's one beforehand
Oh,
and
sorry.
then one after.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So she says something about the dust dreaming, but the dust does not yet command the wind. She thinks about it some more. It rapidly cuts between both perspectives of Cutter riding back to Chalice's estate to tell her that she killed her, and then Chalice slowly climbing up and passing the garden wall. And now, at last, she stares down, like the however long drop. She even mentions the towers, like a Gadrobi abomination. And she always hated how it looked. Do you see where I'm coming from? About her delusions shattering, and that's why she throws herself off?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Sorry.
Sass me. Fine.
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm waiting for the quote for like 10 minutes
all right,
now.
fine. She says, "Dust of dreams, will you now command the wind?" And well, is it not time to set you free? And then she jumps off, and then poor Challice. Don't laugh at that, please. That was. Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Anyway, yeah. So we disagree. I think you nodded Kobe, and I think we realized this. And that's fine.
I don't know, you're being too much of an Itcovian, you know.
Am I? Isn't that the point? Didn't we discuss this last week, Mora? Didn't we talk about this last week?
Okay. But, I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe if I think about it some more, I really doubt I'm going to feel, more sympathy towards her than what I feel right now. I don't know.
Is that your
I'm
closing
just
word?
going to not respond to this.
Is that your closing word, that I don't know if I'm going to feel more sympathy to this? Is that what we talked about it COVID for 2 weeks straight, and this is how we conclude?
Oh God. What?
Okay.
I do feel bad for her. I'm not saying that, she was a victim to some extent. Yes.
Is that as far as you're going to go?
She didn't deserve all the things that happened to her.
Okay.
But she didn't have to choose to remain in that situation the way she does. Which is, that is the type of attitude I have to someone like her. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just need to be more compassionate. But, I'm sorry. This is how I feel about her.
I mean, don't apologize for it. I mean, fine, whatever.
You're not letting go. What are your closing words?
I don't agree with the notion that we should withhold compassion and empathy towards this character when we understand. We understand she's a victim. She's a victim of circumstance. She didn't, but actually fuck her because she could have. No, I don't feel that way, but I understand that I am a bit privileged to say this in the sense that, I didn't actually have to go through these things that she did. I'm not in a similar situation as she was at any point in time. And I have not gone through the same things that she did. And so I am viewing this in an admittedly favorable light because I don't want to view characters negatively out of hand. I say that while having trust Halberic about being a manipulative bitch. Anyway, and I also think a lot of the time that we view her through points of view that make her look bad.
Are we talking about Lassine or are we talking about Challice here?
We're definitely still talking about Challice. I mean, if you think about what Crocus thinks about her,
Crocus is pretty much the only one.
Yes, and she doesn't much, Yeah. So my parting words would be: I am in a position where I can feel empathy for her freely with no consequence. If my life experiences or my worldview were different, I think I would share Mora's opinion. But I think I like this view more. I could just say, okay, she just wants the money and more sex, and she lost both of those things, so might as well open herself. But I really want to think of a character like that? At the end of the day, I think it's just like, what fits the themes of all the Hounds and Miles and more? Just that she killed herself because she wanted more money and more sex, or all the things we mentioned and talked about today? Even the things I disagree with, like you said, that, generally, or disagreement. I think this whole conversation fit Miles and all the Hounds themes more than just saying, oh yeah, she did it for the money, and Yeah,
I don't know. So was it your closing words?
I think so.
Is there anything more you want to bring up?
That isn't going to spark a 10-minute long discussion where you vehemently disagree with me and I vehemently disagree back? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a new point, I don't mind. But I think we have finished all our arguments.
It's one goddamn book. How much more can we do? Oh, actually, it's called the Hounds. No, yeah,
it's one goddamn character.
Yeah,
you can say it's
fair.
just one.
It's one character. So, yeah.
So, you know what? This will be a nice thing to ask if there are any listeners to tell us, the way they see Chalice. I would like to hear some feedback, Lee. So, shall we stop here?
Yeah.
Oh, just one thing. So, what are we doing in the next few episodes? Can we please announce it so people have some idea of what to expect? I'll let you do it.
You want me to do it?
Because, yeah, please.
Well, for the next few episodes, we're probably going to stop doing character deep dives and focus more on returning back to Notes of the Malzahn Empire because Mora hasn't read them yet. And so the next few weeks, I don't know how many weeks, ideally not too many weeks, will be dedicated to Stonewielder. We will probably do it on probably something along the structure of a sub-book divide, albeit the sub-books of Stonewielder are a bit weird. We'll figure it out. And then, unless we find some extremely interesting character to talk about, that maybe isn't Challice, we'll continue on with Force of the Throne, and then from there on we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Mora, for
Yeah.
That was a discussion for sure.
It was some discussion. Yeah. So, thank you though for bringing in all that fire. Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Fare you well.